This year I'm getting ready for trapping. Getting ready to dye up some traps here. I got some logwood trap dye. First time I've ever used this. I don't know how it works. That's all I could find. But we'll give it a shot and see. I'm gonna dip my 110s first. These are a bottom edge set that I make myself, in which if you buy these are probably $40–50 a dozen, and you can build them for nothing. It's stupid simple. Maybe I'll do a video and show you how I make my conibear stands. That looks just like a conibear stand that you would get from F&T or wherever you get your supplies from. But there's ways of building them without spending that money.
Your water has to be simmering. We did it on the stove top and didn't have a problem with any smell or anything in the house. You can do it on a small bed of coals. And the logwood trap dye directions are one package. We'll dye 1 to 2 dozen large traps or 2 to 3 dozen small traps. Boil new traps in strong household degreaser or lye solution to remove oil, to give traps a thin coat of rust, and rinse thoroughly. Let traps simmer in hot water just below the boiling point in approximately 1 hour.
Always rubber gloves. You don't want scent on your traps for 1. For 2, you get trap dye in your hands, it shit don't come off easy. It's there for a while. I mean, I really don't care, but who wants to walk around with black fingers?
The dye from walnuts works.
Yes, black walnuts. That's what I usually dye my traps with. But this year, like I said, I'm so far behind on everything. It's ridiculous. I should have had 100 traps out by now, and I ain't got a 1 set. They're all sitting right here. This is what I have left after buying, I don't know, 20 dozen of traps last year. This is what I'm talking about when you have people that want to be disrespectful and not do the sporting thing. When they come across your shit, they steal it, and that's not how us trappers should be. It's a dying breed. You steal people's shit, you deter them. They don't want to do it, or you wind up having their shit stolen, and then they get mad. Why do it to somebody else if you don't want it done to you? It's that simple. You pull up to a spot, you see somebody else's traps, go to another place. It's that simple. I got guys that follow me every year. I run my line, they follow me, and then they check my line before I get there, which is bullshit. The one I put them in there.
It's a little hard to see, but I'll show you better
Well, you'll see in a minute.
here in a second, compared to the one on the ground.
Okay, now guys, if you're gonna dye traps, this is what you want your trap to look like. You don't want to go out buy brand new traps and try to dye them. It's not going to work. You have to have the rust for the dye to embed into the steel. If it's not rusty, it's not sticking. But I'll give you an example right here. See this strap here? That's what these straps look like before I put them in here. Look at the difference. Night and day. That's just enough dye, it's perfect. I don't want too much. I don't want it solid coal black. Straps are rusty brown. Now when I put them in here, when I take them back out, they're going to be black as these gloves.
Now do you want your traps set? You want your traps folded up like that?
Yeah. You'll fit more in your pan. They stack a little easier. Everybody has their own preference. One thing you never do not wax kill traps. Do not. You wax that thing, you're gonna be sorry. I promise you.
Alright, so what's that do?
When you wax a kill trap, okay. So, when you set a kill trap versus a foothold trap, okay? Obviously, kill trap, the animal is coming through and hitting these tongs. When he comes through, this trap fires, it closes around him. I'm obviously not going to snap myself, but so the trap is set like this, right? See that? Trap set like this. Now when the animal comes through this trap, he goes through and it closes like that. Therefore, either breaking his neck or crushing his lungs. And he drowns quickly. But when you wax this trap, when you go like that and set that trap, that's a live trap. See, I put the dog over your prong. It's a live trap. That trap will fire. Let me tell you what, it's only a 110, but they don't feel good, especially on the fingers. So when you wax this, the minute you set that trigger and you release tension off these springs, it's just gonna kick because it's not holding like a foothold trap, to where you got the pan and your dog and there's a notch. Well, what happens is when you fold that jaws down, you put that dog over, it goes into that pan, it's got a notch so it catches and it holds it. This, no. That, you do not wax kill traps. Just word of advice. If you don't want to listen to me, it's your own stupidity, but I promise you, you'll wind up with broken fingers. Oh yeah, make sure you have a name tag on your traps. Don't necessarily have to be your name, you can put your license number, but don't do it. Game Warren's coming to see you. So, Go for the duck pies. I'm gonna take these traps, take this here piece of wire. Okay, feed these traps onto this wire.
Now that's the reason that you're spreading them out like that.
Just spread them out so that they get even airspace, you know, drying. You don't want them all clumped together. And I guess it really don't matter too much. So you see me dye the 110s. It's some of your mink and muskrat traps. I also have a couple 330s, which are my favorite traps. Are these big boys? You don't want to get snapped by that, that'll snap your arm. What else? Oh, we got some 2 corners, in which you can't set these on land no more, so that sucks, but they'll hold a beaver.
At least in New York State you can't.
Yeah, at least in New York State you cannot set anything over, I want to say it's 5 or 6 inches as far as kill trap on land. But footholds can't be no bigger than, I want to say, 6.5 inches for a foothold on land. So with that being said, we'll jump right into some coyote traps here. This here is a Duke number 2. As you can tell, I bought these last year and never used them. They're still like brand new. Yeah, I gotta let them rust before I could do anything with them, which kind of sucks. But so these are the number 2 Duke double coil, and this will hold any coyote you want to hold. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about, since I have this trap set. Now when you buy traps from the store, they do not come set the way that they need to be in order for you to catch the animals. Okay, with that being said, is I dropped this jaw. You look at that pan, right? See how high that pan sticks up? You do not want that. That leaves too much travel in that pan. You watch. You watch that pan, how much that pan's traveling. Okay? I might have pre-adjusted these. Yeah, that's close. You need a little tweaking, but as you see, that pan is level with those jaws. Now you want that pan level or just a little below, but if you go too far below, what happens is when this animal comes through and he steps on your pan, he's not gonna fire the trap. But if you got your pan set right, he's doing a 3-step the next morning. Number 2, Duke. I love these traps. They're a little cheaper than running like your MB 550s, Bridger, all those other traps. It's all in what you can afford. I mean, either way, they all do the same thing. They hold the animal there until you get there. Granted, you're gonna have pullouts. I can't tell you how many pullouts on coyotes and fox. But that's just one of those things that trap placement, right pan tension, that all becomes a factor. And if you don't have all of those things correct, you'll have pullouts. And if you don't have swivels, like I had a chunk of, here we go. Right here, for example. You got swivel here, so that way there, that animal cannot twist that chain up. Got another one here. I got a shock spring. Then I have another swivel. So as you see, that's a lot of hardware in that short piece of chain, and then that gets connected to the trap. So no matter what that animal does, he tries to kink this, he's not going to kink the chain. That's what happens. They kink the chain and then they have leverage to get that foot out. But, so yeah, okay, so that's the Duke number 2. You had the Duke number 2s, love them, catch everything in them. It's called beaver in these things. Right here we have a Bridger. I want to say this is a 1 3/4. Again, shock spring, swivels. And as you see that swivel, this keeps turning. I got the little shock spring, got another swivel up here. That pan tension, see how that falls like that? You don't want that. I mean, it's alright if you're trapping for mink and muskrats, but if you are going to trap raccoons, fox, coyotes, you have to have that pan tension set right. Coyotes, I usually run like a 2-pound pan. Fox, I go lighter. I go maybe half a pound. Coons, it don't matter. They just, once they find food, they just start fumbling around and you catch them. But the fox and the coyotes are your hardest target animals to catch. By far, they're the smartest thing in the woods. But, so we'll set this one. Ooh, that one's tough. I have caught my fingers numerous times and it never feels good. So here again, the pan is higher than the jaws, so you just want to adjust that. Take your hand off that in case you fire that trap. Show you guys another little secret. If you're dropping your pan, and if you look at the dog, there's not very much of that dog hanging on to that pan. So if you just take a hammer or something, tap it forward, close that gap. Got no gap. You're allowed to adjust the pan. See what I mean? Once you get it to that point, that one more little footstep, but that's not what you want. You want that animal to be fully committed when he puts his foot flat down on that trap. That's when it fires, not when his toes hit it. And another thing, if you don't bed your trap solid, they'll dig them up. They'll piss on them, flip them over. It sucks. They're smart.
Fox are known for that.
Yes. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's another style of Duke trap. We have one and 1.5. This is double jawed. As you see, there's 2 little lips right here. That's so that, I don't know, they say it stops the animal from doing whatever, but I don't know, it works. I know that. I like them. But this is a 1.5. This is what 90% of your guys are going to run on coon, mink, muskrats. These are really good fox traps. I like foothold traps just because you have a wider variety of animals you can catch with a foothold than you can with a 110 conibear. There's spots you need footholds, there's spots you need skill traps. Me, I'm more of a foot trap person. I like to run foot traps. But, so this is a 1.5 Duke. It's brand new, it's a good one. It's a 1.5 Victor with a modified pan. This one is not the same as the Duke. If you look at the Duke, you see the pan here, how you got the lip. This one, you don't. This one here has a big hole to where this sets completely inside of it, like this, and then you bring your pan up, which I'll set it and show you. These ones are touchy. I don't much really care for these ones. I felt it. Alright, now that's a perfect pan set right there. Just below the jaws. Not too much. That's perfect. I'll say that fox, coyote, coon, whatever comes along, he's smelling your dirt hole or whatever you got there. Oh, see? That would have fucked you. No good. That's why I do not like these straps, because as you see, I pushed that pan all the way down and this fucking thing did not fire. That'll cause you to miss animals. So you got to adjust it from back here. Back here. Where your dog comes, where your dog hooks into, take a pair of pliers and you can bend this backwards. So that way there you allow more of that gap. So that's another tip. Oh, see? Now the trap fires after 30-40 seconds of me pushing that pan down. So this one goes over there. I found this walking through the woods one day. Look at that thing. That thing is cool. Like, you ever see a trap double pan like that? Like, I did some research on this thing, and this trap was only built for, I want to say, 3 or 4 years. can't remember, it's been a long time since I looked it up, but and I believe this trap was built right here where I live, which is amazing. But yeah, I never seen a trap like this. I don't think I'll ever see another one again, but I do not use this. It's just a decorative piece. Just thought I'd show you guys because this thing is cool as hell. Like, I've never seen a trap that has no bottom. Donut hole. Hello. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't even know how this thing sets, but I'll tell you what, it's freaking awesome. But this is one I do not use. I just like it. It's cool. It's old. You don't see traps like that too often. Okay, now we're getting into my coyote trap here. This here is a dogless trap. There is no dog that hooks into the pan. This has been modified. Sometimes, you know, I like to modify stuff myself. But I'll show you how this one here works. Since this one I'm gonna have to stand on. As you see, not much I really had to do to that trap. And there's no dog. As you see, the pan just hooks onto the jaw of the trap. See, no dog. Just hooks straight to the jaw, which I really like these. I should probably modify a couple more. But that thing is, buddy, when that trap fires, whatever stepped on it ain't going nowhere. That's a stout trap. It's another, I want to say, Bridger, or this is a Blake and Lamb. We have our herders. It's 4-coil. This thing is no joke. Like, if you get your finger stuck in this, you're not having a good week. I'll tell you, I can't even, like, that's a tough son of a bitch. This trap kind of scares me just because it is so tough. As you see, we got some adjustments. See that? I weigh 150 pounds. And that thing pushed my feet up off there. This is what you want to use when you're having freeze-up conditions. The 4-coil. As long as your jaws do not freeze in, and you have no obstructions underneath your pan, I don't give a shit how cold it gets. Crust on the snow, this thing will, I've never missed an animal with this strap. I probably should build more of these, but they're expensive. But if you want to play, you gotta pay. So we got, here's another 4-coil. As you see, this one was modified too. The dog here had a piece of round stock welded so that it's pretty much night latched. Run screens sometimes. It's another 4-coil herders. It's another amazing coyote trap. Oh, then you got your double long spring. This one here is 8. Number 8. These are wicked for mink and muskrat. And this will hold anything. I've caught fishers in these. I mean, these are a little easier to set. I don't much care for them too much because of that reason right there. You have no adjustment for this pin. That's why those are kind of dangerous, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, here's another number 4. It's another really old trap. It's an old beaver trap, which, like I said, I have traps that I don't use anymore. This is another one. Have a, let's say it's number 4. Well, number 3, I'm sorry. Number 3 Victor Jump. I don't run these traps anymore. I just gotta get them dyed so that they don't go to shit on me. I also run number 1s, which are just it's the number 1 Duke. You got the double jaw underneath once again. I mean, these are a stout little trap. I've caught fox, coon, mink, muskrats, possum, skunk. I mean, pretty much if they could put their foot in there, I don't believe they're gonna pull out of there. But so yeah, got a lot of work to do. Short time to get it done. Trapping season's already upon us, and I don't like the fact that I'm not out there yet. But that's how life works. I also run peat moss for bedding my traps. Peat moss does not freeze. It will freeze. Let me rephrase that. It will freeze, but you have a better chance of your traps not freezing in by putting peat moss down first. It kind of floats above the water, so you have a nice dry trap bed. I always carry a gallon bag of peat moss. I got a bucket that's full of peat moss. I'll even store my coyote traps in my bucket of peat moss, so then that way there I get out to my spot, get everything set up, and my traps are already in that bucket, totally scent free. You know, you got to make sure with coyotes and fox especially, wary about your scent. Obviously they know you've been there, but you want to try to fool their nose as much as possible, which is very hard to do, but curiosity gets them every time. So yeah, I started out with last year I want to say I bought 25 dozen traps, and I'm down to maybe 4 dozen, 5 dozen at the most. Thieves, can't stand it, but you got that everywhere you go.